We all come to pray, going back for warriors, keeping the whispers away. In suits and in skirts, we're the rebels you say, talking about life and dreaming of a different day. On the back row we stay, in the back we don't sway, just let the sermon flow. We're on the back row.
It is time for another episode of the Cultural Hall. It is an Articles of News episode, and from Texas, ciao. Hey, ciao. It's like I'm saying goodbye, but I'm saying welcome, all in the same thing.
Hello, goodbye.
Hello, goodbye. Aloha.
All of the above.
All of the above. I'm glad we were able to sneak you away. What with such close proximity to the release of Life of a Showgirl, I'm surprised you had time to be able to spend any time with me. But I'm grateful that you are you're able to come and talk a little bit about General Conference and about the funeral service for President Nelson. And there's a couple other stories, not much, but a couple other stories that have kind of come about in the last week. You are well? Question mark.
Yes, doing great. Listening to my Life of a Showgirl and making my sourdough. So
Okay.
good.
Living your best life. Do we feel like so many that I've seen about Life of a Showgirl? Do we feel like it is not as great? It's not holding up, or is it just as much?
No, it's
Okay.
great.
Okay.
Every project, and really I think this goes for anybody who creates art,
Uh-huh.
it has to stand alone for what it is.
Yes.
It's its own individual piece of art. And so I think it's great. I
Right.
don't compare it to other art. I appreciate it for what it is. And it's fun. So, yeah.
Art is like kids. There will be some kids that will earn you millions or billions of dollars, and then there are some kids that just are, and you love them. You love them too, and you appreciate them for what they are.
Yep.
But also, they did not turn out like the others, and we just have to be all right with that.
Yeah. No, I like it. I think it's she's like what, a 35-year-old woman. So
I
I
want to
think
say almost 40. Are we not? I mean, I'm not age
yeah.
rejecting or age shaming, but I do think she's nearing 40, if not 40.
Yeah, she's close, but I just think there's some
35,
people
you're
that
right. I'm sorry. Nope,
are
you're right.
clutching. Oh, am I right? Look
Yep.
at me. But there are some people, clutching their pearls a bit because it's not about high school
Mhm.
love. This is a mature woman who has fallen in love. And
Sure.
so, that is what it is.
Yeah. Double entendre makes me uncomfortable in that album.
Yeah, I've come to a point where I just laugh about it
Yeah.
and
Yep.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
So,
Not what people came here for. You and your family, did you watch General Conference?
we did. We missed the Saturday morning session thanks to soccer and
Okay.
Nutcracker rehearsals.
Okay, already we're getting there. Doop doop deep
Yeah.
doop deep doop.
And it was picture day for both as
Oh.
well. So, yeah, it's October, Richie.
Yeah,
Your
no, I know.
tree should be up.
We've got
Where's
the place for it. We got to move the furniture. That's probably literally the only thing that's made it so we haven't put up our Christmas tree yet.
Yeah. Well, I kid. I think October's a little early, but you could start on the lights on the outside of the house.
Sure, we don't do that. We do a tree. That's it. We are
Oh.
such minimalist people as far as that goes. We used to be a little bit more, but now we're like, what do we do? We have a tree. Do we love the tree? Yes. Is it a spoiled tree? You bet it is. Is it everything that we want? Is it time? Do we do that? Yeah. Is it visible for the neighborhood? Of course, all of these things. And that's it. That's all we do.
Well, last year after Christmas, I went a little crazy on the yard blow-ups,
Mhm,
like,
mhm.
when they were all on sale. So
Mhm.
this year we are having quite the yard display.
I love it.
Yeah, we'll
Uh,
see how it works out.
I think that people assume that I would be the yard display guy. I will say this year, at least presently, I'm not working on Halloween, not Halloween night. In the past, I've had kind of an
Mhm.
early evening Halloween thing, and that has been moved to the daytime. So if I, in fact, am going to be home for Halloween evening, I may be blasting music in my driveway.
Nice.
Yeah,
Do it.
do a little Halloween dance party.
Yeah, it's on a
Yeah.
Friday night,
Yeah.
so nobody has work the next day.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, some people do,
Yeah.
but
I
you
mean,
will get more grace this year than other years.
sure. I really just have to talk to my neighbor across the street, whom I love very much, but I know what time he goes to bed, and he will
Mm.
not appreciate it if I'm playing music after dark.
Yeah, just give him some earplugs.
Yeah.
Trick or treat. Here's your
Yeah,
earplugs.
give 'em a little heads up. It's surprising when you give people a little consideration,
Yes.
how they can be just a kind person. Any sort of thing, takeaway from General Conference, talk that you loved, a point that you resonated, scuttlebutt that you wish to discuss. I think there's a couple things for me.
Well, I mean, I think there's some, I like the positives. The
Hmm.
Elder Amos, I believe, from Louisiana.
Hmm.
And he could convince me to do just about anything.
Okay.
Like the way he speaks, the way it just kind of feels so, I don't know, relaxed and not quite as formal. I was like, good thing you're not starting an MLM because I would be all in. I would be like, here is my life savings. Let us go. Like I want it all. And so I did put Tony Chachere on my food for my family on Monday, thanks to his talk. And everybody was like, this is terrible. It's
Yeah.
spicy. We can't handle this. Like, so I was like, oh, maybe too much. But his was probably my favorite talk.
Well, and I'm guessing that you don't know about his wife. Do you know about his wife?
No.
Obviously, they were mission presidents of the Louisiana. I want to say it's either Baton Rouge or New Orleans mission. But
Yeah.
his wife, a huge career with NASA. And
Oh.
when they were called to be mission presidents, she said, "Serving the Lord is the thing that is important for me. I am going to do this." She's an electronics design engineer. Um,
Wow. Impressive.
and she designed the electrical systems and control equipment at Kennedy Space Center. Worked on a support team for the International Space Station. Was a project manager lead for the shuttle transition and retirement activities. Remember when we said we're not doing the shuttle thing anymore, and they kind of retired it? Like she was in charge of much of that.
Hmm.
She was the chairperson of NASA's Black Employee Strategy Team, and she worked on Perseverance, the Mars 2020 rover, as a system engineer. So not just like, she wasn't just like hanging out at NASA.
Yeah.
She was NASA forever,
Yeah.
for every part of it, and said, "I'm going to go serve the Lord with my husband."
Awesome. I love it.
Yep.
I love it.
So
That's,
Tony Sashers, huh? Did your husband like it?
yeah, he
Yeah.
loved it. I mean, he's
Yeah.
the reason we have it in the cabinet,
Right.
right? So, yeah,
Yeah.
he served his mission on the border of Louisiana. So, yeah,
Yeah.
he was
So he
he was all
very
in.
familiar, loves the hot stuff. Harder for him to be in a downline of someone's MLM than you.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. No, I'm all in though. I was like, whatever, what are we doing? Tell me the program. I'm all in.
You're like handcarts, Missouri. Let's go.
Yeah,
Okay, there we
he
go.
could
I'm
get
in.
me. I would do a trek.
Okay.
Like I've always been like, oh, too busy.
Uh-huh,
Oh,
uh-huh,
can't
uh-huh.
no time for that because I'm just like I'm not there for I don't get the point. But he could convince me to do trek.
Elder Amos could get me to do a trek. That's the name of this episode.
Oh goodness.
Could get
So what about you
me.
though? I want to know
um,
your likes, your
Oh,
thoughts.
well, so takeaway from me, I was a little bit surprised that we didn't hear posthumously from President Nelson because
Mm.
no, I don't know, but I had very large reason to suspect it was already recorded.
You and
Uh,
my 13-year-old said the same thing.
yeah,
She's like, I know they got it. I want to
yeah.
see it.
Are we going to
So
leak it on the YouTubes? Probably
yeah.
not because of the temples. And then I got to thinking about it,
Yes.
and because of how we got into this a little bit before on an Articles of News episode, but because of how we are when in respect to Revelation and the current prophet, I felt like they were going to be putting themselves in a tricky situation if they announced temples through either President Nelson or President Oaks announced temples
Hmm.
this session, because if it's President Nelson and then there's some sort of like turmoil or one of the temples don't occur or something like that, then people will go, well, it's because he wasn't the prophet anymore. When it's
Yeah.
delivered, it's not
True.
revelation. Revelation ends at his death. And then similarly, because we're also those cynical, critical people, if it's President Oaks and he's not been sustained as the prophet at that point, we
Mhm.
all go,
Yep.
oh, well, maybe we hope. We hope it's coming to Fillmore, Utah, but we don't know because President Oaks isn't the prophet yet. So that gamble, yeah, I think
Yeah.
that seemed to make sense to me the more I thought it through. Uh,
Yeah, that does.
Kevin is his first name, and I can't think of his last name, but if you know, then you know. That talk I appreciated quite a bit. He also a gentleman of color. Let me think of
Hmm.
what his
Kevin Brown,
yes. Does that sound right, Kevin?
Elder Kevin Brown. Yeah.
Yes. 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 Yep.
The gift.
Uh,
Oh, that was a good one. The eternal gift of testimony. Jamaica.
yes. Yes, from Jamaica.
Oh,
And
yeah.
dark horse for a new apostle. Not yet. He won't be.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not taking the velvet chair yet, but maybe down the road quite a bit.
Yeah.
I'm still in the camp of Dubé, though several I've talked to have said Casse is where we're going.
Yeah, I could see both.
Yeah.
So, you
Yeah.
know,
Do you guys speculate on stuff like that?
Russ does.
Uh-huh.
Russ is
Russ, your
much more
husband.
keen
Yeah.
on that. Yes.
Yep.
I I not so much. I just feel like there's so many, and I'm sorry, but there's just so many men. I can't
Hmm.
keep them straight.
Sure.
They all kind of blend together at some point,
Hmm.
especially like the CEO looking white man.
Uh-huh.
Sorry.
No, I
Sorry,
think.
listeners. I'm like, okay, that's just another, they all kind of blend. Like I can't tell them apart.
Mhm.
So,
There are I mean there are some distinct differences. Obviously, I know that you're not saying that, but it is nice when we get someone like an Elder Suarez or like an Elder Gong that
mhm.
at
True.
least on the face of it also looks different. But all of these guys, different careers and all these things.
Yep. Elder
But
Kieran sounds very different.
yes,
So,
both in
yes.
feel and literally sound
Yes.
different. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So, do you have any sort of speculation asking you to do the thing that you don't like about who the first presidency will be?
You know, I would not be surprised if it was Christopherson.
Okay. Okay.
I could
That's
see
pulling for a
Christopherson in
family.
there.
That's a relative you're pulling for now.
True. That's
Yeah.
true. But I just could see pretty steady, pretty been there for a while, but I could see
Hmm.
Christopherson being in there.
Hmm.
And he travels a lot, right? That's
Uh-huh.
the other thing is they have him, he's very mobile and
Uh-huh.
I think you need to move if you're
Yep.
in the presidency.
Yep.
So he's somebody they send all over the world to do
Yep.
all the things.
Yep.
So I could see him and then, maybe Bednar
Hmm.
too.
Hmm. I think as you look at leadership of the church, here's a thing that when last we recorded and speculated on this, that I didn't think so, but I think that you will. I think that you'll have an Elder Bednar or Elder Christofferson, young, get that young 70 something in here, full of
Hmm.
vim and vigor. It'll be one of those. And then I think you're going to see Elder Holland. I think you'll
In
see
the
Elder.
first presidency?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Well, because here's why, and you don't want to speculate on this stuff. I don't know that he's going to be around a considerable amount of time, but he brings kind of like the heart where
Hmm.
Elder Bednar or
True.
what did Elder Christofferson do professionally?
He was a lawyer.
Okay.
He
Yeah, where they
went
sort of
to
bring
do
like
law school. Yeah.
the execution of things. I think that
Yeah.
Elder Holland sort of brings the heart to it, and I think that you need both. Plus, Elder Holland at the memoriam and Elder Holland at the funeral services for President Nelson. Like it's the message that I feel like we need a little bit more of, especially when you know that from the top it's going to be President Oaks, who is a
Yep.
former Supreme Court, not for the country, but for the state of Utah judge.
Yes. Sorry, I
Yeah,
made a face.
yeah.
So I'm a lawyer, and whenever I read his talks, it feels like work to me. It
Hmm.
feels like I'm reading a judicial opinion.
Hmm.
And so it's just like that becomes like a blurred line of my spiritual life and professional life because I'm
Sure.
reading this spiritual talk, but it's very much formatted like a legal opinion. And so sometimes it doesn't get me in the fuzzy feels that I want to feel in a spiritual sense.
Right,
So,
which is why I think Elder Holland for the first presidency.
yeah.
Elder Eyring would do it, but I mean Elder Eyring,
Yeah.
we saw both at conference and in the funeral service. He is not, if he's mobile, he's not much mobile.
Yeah.
And you have to have, to your point with Elder Christofferson, you have to have at least one of them that's like, I need to go to the church in Michigan and minister among the people that
Yeah.
were a part of that. Elder Bednar doing that. I know we've done that before, and maybe it hits different because it's in the United States, but I was so impressed not only by him doing that, but
Hmm.
by the things that were shared from him doing that.
Hmm.
That to me
Yeah.
is that to me is at least partially why I want the apostles to be a little bit younger. So it's like fire in southern Utah,
I'm there.
tragic
Yeah.
something in Canada. He's on the plane, he's gone, and I don't, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. I don't judge the people that can't do it. They've lived great long lives, but I feel like discipleship and I feel like ministering in that way, it hits different from an apostle to a 70, and it shows the example when we go and do, as opposed to like, yeah,
Yeah.
our thoughts and our prayers are with the people of this place.
Yep. I will say Elder Holland had my favorite quote from the funeral.
Hmm. I bet we
He's
have the
so,
same one. Go
I
ahead.
bet we do. He's just great with words. I mean, he is what he used some word in general conference. I had to look it up. It was like it was some form of like worshiping and it was like sacrilege or something, but I was like, what the heck is that word? I had to look it up.
Hmm.
And it just meant like to worship or something. Anyways, but from the funeral, the holder of hands and the healer of hearts.
Uh,
Just was that your favorite?
that was not. It was not.
No?
It was not. Although I like that one quite a bit.
Great alliteration there. Holder
Yes.
of hands, healer of hearts.
Well, and every time you saw President Nelson, always the double hand cup
Yes.
around the hands as he was a prophet of the church. I think that
Yep.
that to me harkens to my grandma, who literally whatever my issue would be, from the most anxious to the most like disappointing to the most whatever,
Mhm.
she had this ability, and I imagine President Nelson, though never had the opportunity to meet him, felt the same. People felt the same way. Is that you could have your hands cupped, and it's like, yeah, it's going to be all right. You didn't solve
Yeah.
this right now, but it is a positive confirmation that this will be all right. Um, Elder Holland said, um, something around, and I'm going to butcher this, but it struck me the way that he said it is that, we give ourselves to the church, and President Nelson gave himself to
Yes.
the church, and then recognized full on that there were probably some in the family that wish he wouldn't have given himself so much to the church. But
Right.
but that turnabout of that scripture of, even as Christ gave himself to the church, right? I think that
Yeah.
that sort of stuck with me from the funeral
I
service.
mean, I thought of the song, I belong to the Church of G. I'm like, he belonged. Like he
Yeah,
absolutely belonged, you
yeah.
know? So
In whatever way we could use him and have him
yeah.
be. Uh, it's sort of an odd thing. I don't want to get too much down this rabbit hole. And I have no desire to be any sort of disrespectful, but it is an interesting point that you see when people get married a second time, and when you see people get married a second time within the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, wherein the gentleman was sealed to his first wife. There is a
Mhm.
glaring doctrine of polygamy that has been wholly ignored, mostly ignored. I know
Yeah.
that during the funeral services, they've said, Wendy, who was able to help him be the prophet that he was, and there have been references to Dancel, his first wife, whom he was sealed to as well, and the amazing family. And it is tough, I think, for the children and for people in general when you're married a second time for a long time to walk that tightrope of like, well, is it Dancel? Is it Wendy? Is it Wendy? Is it Dancel? And that's just like the logistics of that. But doctrine would tell me, and people can correct me if I'm wrong, at the point he died, his wife, whom he is sealed with now, he's hanging out with his wife, whom he was sealed with, and his wife, whom he's sealed with here. I I won't ever have to face that. One, because I married a non-member and she may never join. But two, I'm a man. There has to be a thought. Maybe you don't dwell on it. Maybe that isn't a stick in your craw or whatever it is. But it has
Yeah.
to at least be a thought of, well, hang on. I just spent
I
the
mean,
last so many years with him doing this, and now this.
yeah. Well, my thought is, uh, again, I'm going to go back to that, and I've mentioned it before when I've been on here with you.
Hmm.
All Things New by Fiona and Terrell Givens that talks about the history of sealing and just how different it used to be,
Right.
how it was more, like a dispensation, sealing of dispensation than it was of families.
Hmm.
So that's all I can think of is the way we understand it now is not the same way we will understand it in eternity. And I'm just going to rely on, I love that book because it really helped clarify to me that, my family back in the 1800s didn't look at it the same way we do now.
Yeah.
They weren't singing that families can be together forever. That wasn't their song. It was more like our community can be together
All of us can
forever.
be
Yes.
together forever. Just
So
not
that's
my
what I would
mom.
say. Maybe she's reading that book and she's like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Because
And
yeah.
maybe that's not even an issue, but I do think that it is an interesting thing to consider. And I don't think that we'll be privy to this, but you will see the headstone when he is ultimately laid to rest, where it is his wife's name already there because that's where she's buried, and
Mhm.
then his name with the birth year. They'll have completed the death year and put him. That would be at very very lightest. That would be difficult for me, just in general, right?
Yeah.
Sans polygamy doctrine, etc., right? Just an
Yep.
idea of life continuing eternal. That would be difficult for me. And then you sort of heap on everything that we don't know, or think we know, or purport
Mhm.
to know, or whatever it is. And I just would be like, yeah, I don't know about all that.
Well, yeah, I don't either. And Wendy's kind of young, right?
Yeah,
She's 75. I mean, youngish,
yeah.
relatively. She could get married again.
Wouldn't
So,
that be a thing? Wouldn't that
right?
be a thing? Yeah,
I don't know. I
yeah.
don't know.
Yeah,
But
and to a lot of people's points too, and then this is probably the last I'll dwell on it. It is unfortunate when you think about like how much we loved Marjorie Hinckley and
mm,
some of the first wives. I don't know if that's appropriate. The wives of the prophets of the church. Uh,
yep.
how much we learned and gained strength from them, and unfortunately, largely Wendy will slip into obscurity as far as the church goes.
That is, I did think of that because I see those on the church news scroll
Hmm.
across. The
Hmm.
wife of emeritus, blah, 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 has
Hmm.
passed away. And I'm like,
Hmm.
who's that? Like,
Yeah,
obviously, she used to be like, she spoke to probably thousands of
yeah,
people. She made an impact, and now it's just like a blip in a headline on the church news. But,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. I hope that that's not the case.
yeah.
As you indicate, she's younger than at least half the apostles, so that they could, put her to work
Yep.
in some respect in that way. I don't know.
Yeah.
Shall we take a break? And then when we come back, there are some other articles of news that we'll probably touch on. Not a whole lot of news, still a lot of stuff with Michigan, and anything else that we may have missed about President Nelson and moving on. We'll come back. We'll do that in the second half of articles of news. Let me take just a moment to tell you all about bestdjinutah.com. That is the website where you can learn all about me. Oh, sure, you probably feel like you know me, but you know me in the cultural hall sense. I have a DJ company, now 6 of us strong, great event hosts, MCs, and DJs that can be able to make whatever event you have coming up absolutely spectacular, and hope you will reach out to us. Now you're thinking, well, wait a minute, Richie, I don't live in Utah. Would you travel? Absolutely, I would travel. Would they travel? Absolutely, they would travel. Whatever your event is, doesn't have to be a wedding or a community event. We can do all sorts of things. I can teach you line dancing. I can dance with you. We can do partner dancing. We can do all kinds of things, but we can't do any of it if you don't hit me up. You can go to bestdjinutah.com. You can fill out the form to get more information or get a quote, and then I will get right back to you. Find out why I'm so busy and why sometimes we don't get episodes of the Cultural Hall. It's all because of bestdjinutah.com. Here in the second half of Articles of News, we will do actual articles of news. Hit it, Peter.
You can't lose articles of news.
And away we go. Now, before we do this in the break, you were telling me about you do a thing when your kids go to the temple for the first time. That's cool. Tell me what this is.
Yeah, so when they turn 12 and the year they're turning 12, they can pick what temple they want to go to for the first time to do a little.
Thailand, Mom. Thailand. Is that
That has not come up.
okay?
Hawaii has come up many times, but
Uh-huh.
we've kind of said, try to do something more like North America.
Yeah. Continental 48, kids. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. We will go do a trip to Hawaii, but I need y'all to be a little bit older. So yeah, my second oldest next year is her year, and
Hmm.
at first she wanted to go to Canada because she wanted to eat poutine.
Hmm.
And we said, let's pick it based on the temple. The temple's the point of the trip,
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at temple, see which one moves you, which one you feel a connection to.
Uh-huh.
And she liked what's called the pink temple sometimes.
Okay.
It's the Newport Beach Temple in California.
And so the stone or something must make a pink hue.
Yes, I believe it's just the way the lighting I don't know. I just know that it's known as the pink temple. I don't think it was intended to be pink, but it does look pink with the stone and the way the sun sets and something like that. I can tell you afterwards.
Sure. Yeah, when you go, you'll get all the hookup. Now, let me ask you this. So is it just you and your husband and you take the kid and go, "Hey, it's the three of us. It's your special," or is it all the kids?
So I don't know for sure. I'm not sure. My oldest child picked Mount Timpanogos, which we
Okay.
were like, that's easy. Well, she
Right.
wanted Salt Lake, actually.
Sure.
We said Salt Lake is closed. And she said,
Right.
well, I'll wait until it opens. And we
Uh-huh.
said, well, it's going to be like 3 or 4
It'll be
years.
for your wedding if we wait till the thing.
Yes. Yeah. So then she liked Mount Timpanogos. So everybody went because it was Utah.
Mhm.
Grandmas were able to be there at the
Sure.
temple with us. And so, that time it was everybody. This time it might just be mom and dad and her.
That's
So,
cool. That's a fun tradition for sure.
yeah.
I yeah, I like that. I like when people do stuff like that, or like when people are graduating, or it's their last summer before they move away, or whatever. That sort of devoted time towards that. Cool. Newport. Yeah, I want to know what makes it pink. And if you know, you can send us an email, contact@theculturalhall.com. I've got a couple of emails that I need to share. This
Mhm.
one is a little while back. This is from Scott Smith talking about his LDS Mount Rushmore. Now, this is a while back. We talked about what four faces would you put on an LDS Mount Rushmore?
Yes,
And we
this
said, if
discussion.
you were going to do four women, what would they be? Or if it was just four people, who would they be? And so Scott, he weighed in. He had some other stuff that he had weighed in on. But this part, he says, I would have Emma Smith, and then next to Emma, Joseph, and then Parley P. Pratt or Hiram Smith. He says, I go back and forth on this. Both martyrs, both would have ended up being much bigger influences if they had not died. And then he
Mhm.
says, on the far corner, he would put Brigham Young. And then he goes on to say, I bookend it with Emma and Brigham, keeping the others between them to keep them from fighting. So I appreciated not only the humor, but the LDS Mount Rushmore. Interesting to me that he would pick no modern
Right.
anyone.
Yep. That's what I thought too. But yeah.
Did I ask you? Do you know?
Yes.
Could you? Yeah, tell me. Do you remember who you said? Tell me
I
who would
think
say
I
now.
picked all women and I just said I couldn't ever do Brigham Young.
Yeah.
So if I'm like in the telestial or terrestrial, it will be because I had a
Couldn't see
hard
your
time
way to
being
it.
neighbors,
Yeah.
but hopefully like Heavenly Father, and they're like, we're just gonna tuck you in the celestial kingdom over by this stream in
Yep.
this
Yep.
cottage.
Yep.
And that's where Sister Wild will go
Yeah.
because everybody else wants to do powerful things and she just wants a little garden. So she can
Yeah.
just go over
Yeah. Yeah. That's fair enough. But like as far as the scope, although maybe you don't see yourself to him, Brigham Young, though, seems like a very obvious thing with the church, right? Like you can see it as far as like impact on the church, but not necessarily like he's
there.
the
Right.
guy that I would be celebrating. Okay.
Yeah.
I wondered if
No.
maybe that you were like, nah, that's not that big a deal leading Saints West. I could do it. I have 6 kids. I have 100 kids. I can get them ready for church. Put my face up on the thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think they should have come to Texas. I think Lyman White had a
Yeah.
good vision and idea, but you know.
Can you imagine how insufferable we would be if we were Texans and Mormons? Are you,
Yes.
we would be
What do
the
you mean
worst.
I am? I
No, no, no. You are a Utahn at heart, and that is what keeps you moderately reasonable.
I mean, and this is a joke that only Texans will get.
Hmm.
If we were both, the Saints had come here and Texans, and you went to Texas A&M,
Hmm.
oh my goodness,
No,
that would be it. Yeah, that's
insufferable. It would be like the return missionary who refuses to speak the native language that they're from. So you served in Korea and you come
yep,
back to Salt Lake City and you're like, I'm only speaking Korean now. That's what that would be
yeah,
if we would have been
true. But
saints of Texas.
I got to tell you real quick, I'm already that. So one of our missionaries this last Sunday, it was his last Sunday before finishing his mission.
Hmm.
And I brought him a Hawaiian lei to finish his mission because I served
Oh,
my mission in Hawaii. And so that's what you got. You got all these leis on your last Sunday as a missionary. And I requested we sing God Be With You Till We Meet Again because,
oh,
again, that's what they do in Hawaii.
sure.
And then it kind of worked out because then President Nelson had passed away. And
Hmm.
so not only were we like saying goodbye to this missionary, but we had this song. I mean, during the closing prayer, so many sniffles. You know what
Oh
I
yeah.
mean? I
Oh
was
yeah.
like, Oh, sorry, everybody. I did this to you. But yeah, I'm a little bit of that insufferable. Well, he's finishing his mission. I'm gonna
Yeah.
bring up
Yeah,
Hawaiian
bring in
Lei.
a lei because that's what I did.
Yeah.
Back to your kids conversation. What you got to do? The youngest one is how old? Your youngest kid?
Five.
Yeah. So you got plenty of time to save up. The youngest one, you
Yes.
take the whole family and go to Hawaii.
Yes,
He doesn't get a
exactly.
pick except for he gets to pick which Hawaiian temple he goes to.
Yep.
By that
Yeah.
time, there will probably be what? The Honolulu, which we expect to be announced anytime in the old. Did you see this?
No.
Yeah, you remember where the
The
swap meet,
Baratania Street?
the
What?
swap, where the swap meet was in Oahu,
Yes. Okay.
in Honolulu. The church
Yes, I did
bought
see
that.
this.
Yeah, the church bought that property. That's the temple there. So it could be the Honolulu or
Oh,
Laie, or the Maui temple will be done by the time your kid is
yep.
that old. Kona will be reconstructed. Maybe
Kona.
there'll
Yep.
even be a Kauai temple by that time because, why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
No
yeah.
options for that kid. It sucks being the youngest kid. You have to do what everyone else did.
He'll be fine. He's already spoiled.
Yeah.
So we'll be like, this is my fifth trip this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. It's
He's,
just me and mom and dad, you guys. I'm sorry you guys had rules. They aren't interested in rules anymore.
yeah, they already feel it. They say it all the time, like, you baby him. And I'm like, but he's my baby.
Yeah,
And they're
you
like,
don't understand.
he's 5. And I'm like, he's my baby.
It's our last
So,
chance to try and get it right. There it is, Hawaii. I made the decision for you.
thank you.
Uh,
We'll bring
other
you to.
other email, contact@theculturalhall.com. This is the last episode we were talking with Verlin about BYU and taking credits and transferring credits from BYU to other universities and how both BYU and other universities sort of make it impossible. Well, come to find out, it even is the same way within BYU. Angela says, you were asking about BYU credits not easily being transferred. I tried to transfer my BYU credits, around 49, to BYU Idaho. So same system, same church. And they only accepted maybe 11 credits, and most of those were religion and a couple of generals. So even BYU Idaho won't take them. It
Wild.
seems de-incentivizing, I guess, on some level. Are we not accredited? What's the deal there? Take the credits. Listen, higher education in 10 years won't look like this. You should be grateful that people want to go to a university or a college now. Change is coming, everyone. Buckle up.
Yeah. Perhaps their funding is connected to graduation rates, and so they are trying to encourage you to stay
Could be.
at the school you start.
Could be. But when attendance, which is also how they make money, how many people are attending schools, goes
Yeah.
down because people go, college, I'm going to be a plumber and make $200,000 a year and work my own schedule. Thanks, college degree. We'll go
Yep.
journeyman and license. Let's go. That's where we're headed.
Yeah.
Not everyone
The
being
only
plumbers.
ever switch I did was I did classes at Slick and then transferred them Salt Lake Community College
Hmm.
for people outside of Utah, Slick, and then transferred them down to SUU. And I
Sure,
don't remember having any issues with it.
sure.
So,
Well, and I think that if you get your associates, like that's the play. If you can both either concurrent enrollment in high school, which if your kids aren't taking advantage of that, you're just pissing money away. Sorry
yeah.
for the language, everyone. Uh,
Okay,
but
Taylor's album was worse,
oh, I
but
know.
go.
Oh, I know. I would have just used a different word, and everyone would have known the word I was talking about.
Yep.
Um, well, yeah, the concurrent enrollment or getting your associates at dumb college nearest you that you can work into your schedule. Like that's the play. Then go spend hundreds of thousands if the college is the thing that you want to do. Fine, that's
Yep.
great. Do it
If
for a
the
couple of years.
prestige is what you chase.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
And now into the news articles, which you really didn't get too much of a chance to read over because I sent them to you and then I said, let's go.
Yep.
Uh, this sort of recaps general conference and then also kind of an excitement within the church. In the last 36 months, as many people as were members of the church in 1940 have joined the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Oh,
So nearly 900,000 converts in the last 3 years. Unreal. Are we finally learning how to do it right? You sent one home. Was he different than you remember other missionaries being since you've been there?
his name was Elder Jones. He's a
Where's he
wonderful
gone home?
missionary,
Where's he gone home to?
Wyoming.
Okay.
So he was a wonderful missionary. He had a very like quiet dignity about the missionary work. He was not loud and flashy. He was just like a quiet servant, really interested in people.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'd say he was a little bit different. So I will say too, and this is, I think missionary work, we used to be gung ho door to door,
Hmm.
and every single time you shared online, you were like, this is missionary work. I'm sharing this quote. I'm doing
Hmm.
this thing. And I found that for me, how I share the gospel is a lot more subtle now. Instead of being like, flash bang, here's a quote.
Hmm.
Ta-da, here's this. It's more like just living the gospel and trying to just really be, and it sounds stupid, like, were you not doing it all along? And I was, but I was also like, ta-da, read this quote. Here's
Hmm.
this thing. And instead, I'm much more like, oh, I'm going to give somebody my sourdough bread that I made. Like,
Hmm.
I know that person's having a hard day. Here's a loaf of sourdough bread. And then they look at me with different eyes, like, wow, you really care. Versus before, if I would have been like, well, the gospel's for everybody, or
Hmm. Hmm.
Jesus, there's just like a different acceptance, I feel like, in what I'm saying, as I'm trying to just be like Jesus versus like Jesus.
Yeah. Here I am being like Jesus. Do you
Yeah.
see? Yeah.
Yeah. Do you see what I did there? Wasn't
Hmm.
that awesome?
Hmm.
So yeah, there's just a different approach to it that I feel like is more impactful. And there's a family, we have invited them. He grew up a member, the husband grew up a member of the church. We've invited them to stuff for years, and they like just invite, invite, invite. Randomly, his daughter said, oh, I want to go to that stake dance with my daughter. They're in the same grade.
Hmm.
Dad grew up in the church, so I knew he was somewhat familiar with the church. So I was always inviting, hey, here's the flyer. I'd text it over to him,
Sure.
never showed up. Except for his like, my daughter actually wants to go to that stake dance you sent me a flyer for.
Hmm.
And I was like, cool, that's great. We'll pick her up at this time. And we go to pick him up. My daughter's coming straight from Nutcracker practice.
Hmm.
She's actually in a tank top and athletic shorts, is what she's wearing.
Uh-huh.
And we get to his house, and he comes out and he's like, can my daughter come in the Nike shorts that she's wearing? I'm like, yeah, you should see what my daughter's wearing.
Yeah.
Like and he's like, oh man, when I was a kid, you couldn't get in the door if your
Yeah.
shorts weren't to your knees. And we
Right.
were going through her closet trying to find her shorts. And I was like, yeah, it's a little bit different now. We're happy that you chose to come to a stake dance on
Hmm.
your Saturday night instead of doing something else. And so that was really, I liked being able to say that to him, like, she's not going to have a problem. And if she does, like, girl, look at my daughter. Like,
Yeah.
she's really going to have a problem. But she just came from dance and she was trying to like do all the things,
True.
So yeah.
And I also think it speaks a tremendous amount about speaking back to your point about like always inviting, but not like making it a contingent of your relationship that there be attendance,
Mhm.
and or that you just become a trustworthy person. Because I don't know how y'all do it with kids. The world is so terrible that like if someone was like, "Hey, I'm going to take your kid to a thing," doesn't matter. I'd be like, "Hang on,
Yeah.
I've got a few questions I'd like to go through." So the fact that he trusts you
Yeah.
with something like that's not missed on me, even if he's not like, and Joseph Smith, I'm right there with you. None of that stuff. Just trusting, hey, my daughter's going to be in safe hands doing a safe activity in something
Mhm.
that will be beneficial to her. Like that is not missed on me. And that's a huge deal that I would
Yeah.
never just be like, hey, person, sure, take her,
Yeah.
have fun,
Yeah.
see you later.
Right. And I mean, I told him, I'm like, hey, you can come. I kind of just sit and work in the parking lot of the church, or I listen
Hmm.
to an audiobook, or I don't necessarily leave. Maybe I'll go work out at the gym that's close by.
Sure.
But otherwise, I'm kind of close by. I'm like, you're more than welcome to do that too. But he was like, oh, I'm thank you for letting me know that I wouldn't be like a lurker. I wouldn't be creepy,
Yeah.
doing that. So yeah,
Hmm.
it's nice I can give options.
That's
So.
cool. I also didn't fully realize that we still did a lot of those stake and region dance things.
Oh, they are, Richie, that's like a whole other conversation that we could have,
Yeah.
because I could tell you my daughter's middle school has dances
Hmm.
and they are awful.
Okay.
And she goes to it
Sure.
to be social.
Sure.
And then she goes to the stake dances and she has the best time.
Yeah.
The middle school dance, if you dance with a boy,
Nope.
like basically you got married.
Hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? That's how it's treated. Like that's it. You're a couple
Sure.
and you're in a relationship. It goes so it's so backwards that nobody dances with each other.
And
And
then
then she
when,
goes to the stake dance. She's asked by 5 or 6 different, young men to dance, or she'll go ask them,
Mhm.
and it doesn't mean anything. And so that's what this girl who went with her said, like, I really had a good, like, I can't believe I danced with a boy. Like, I want to
Yeah,
dance with a boy,
yeah,
but you do it at the middle school and it means that you're a couple.
mhm,
Like, this was nice. I could
yeah.
I could talk with a boy and learn how to, like, how do you navigate that? Like, how are you, like, what's up? What do you like? What's your favorite color? Oh, well, see you later, and it doesn't mean like, you know, you're together. So
Was it
anyway,
the green and gold? This is before both of our time, or is it blue and gold dances? The green and gold ball. Hang on, get ready to learn. Are you ready for this?
okay. Teach me.
Green and gold were the official colors of the Mutual Improvement Association, or MIA, or Young Men's, Young Women's, or the Rising Generation, or whatever we call it now. They
Mhm.
used to have a gold and green ball, and it was like a prom.
Oh, we have Mormon prom.
Yeah, it was like a full blown thing. But let me go on. It was a popular annual event, and the green stood for youth and growth, and the gold represented purity and perfection.
Oh, I learned something new.
Uh, and let's see. Yeah, interesting. I think we should bring back the green and gold ball.
Yeah.
The nines. Let's go.
Yeah.
This was particularly sad. I don't think, at least at the recording of this, that it has been deemed as an arson, but there's an LDS meeting house in Australia that was destroyed by fire.
Mm.
This just yesterday, as we record this, crews were called into Hebersham in West Sydney, Hebersham, um,
Mhm.
about 10 a.m. Mountain Time, though that's not at all Sydney time, so I don't know why we do that. No one was inside the building at the time of the fire. They were able to prevent the fire from reaching the chapel within the meeting house, but the photos show severe damage to a large portion of the building. It's the second major fire, obviously, since the Michigan one is the most recent. Police have not said whether arson is suspected, and in an article that I read just this morning, it said they do not believe presently. They have nothing to like confirm or sustain is the word that's coming to my mind, though no one raised their hand to the square, uh, that it is an arson fire. But I mean, but could be pretty wild.
Yeah. Another one.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a discussion with Russ about it, and he's like, there, your empty classrooms and the cultural hall there's just nothing beneath it, so it's easy for it to just, yeah,
Are
go.
they yeah, just burns up. Are they doing anything security wise at your guys's chapel?
We always have.
Okay. You have never.
Yeah, we are about an hour from Sutherland Springs. I don't know if you remember, that's a Baptist church that had a shooting, I think back in 2018 or 2019.
Mhm.
That was pretty horrific, where I want to say it was 20 plus people lost
26
their life.
people killed and 22
Yes.
wounded, and it was 2017, 8 years ago.
Yeah, 2017. So ever since then, our standards for safety have been, and I've been in 2 wards in that time. We have an elders quorum that kind of patrols the outside of the building.
Mhm.
My current building, they actually lock the doors and they have ushers at the doors to open and let people
Oh,
in.
interesting.
So it's and that's partially because our current elders quorum president is like ex FBI. Like,
Oh
he's
yeah. He's like, I'm not messing around. We are not getting anywhere near
no.
this. Well, let's go.
Yeah.
Yep.
We have a lot of retired military in our
Sure.
ward, because we're close to the base in San Antonio.
Sure.
So that
And
is something that I've just kind of been used to since 2017.
yeah, and gun enthusiasts, because Texas.
Yes.
You know,
Yep.
they're thinking
Yep.
about getting in the National Guard so they can go police cities. Just kidding. I don't want to get political, whatever.
Nope, let's not go
Uh,
there.
how do they, this is the thing that I have wondered, and I know the technology that could make something like this possible, but how do they do it so that like the people that are patrolling the parking lot don't miss out on uh the church service? Because if I'm coming
They-
to church and I'm ushering
yeah.
outside, I'm missing the entirety of the meeting.
You have Zoom. So we do have a Zoom feed that it's
Uh-huh.
not publicly shared.
Uh-huh.
But if we know a member is sick or, there was one time I was gone for the primary program. I was
Hmm.
in Utah. So I asked the secretary, executive secretary in the ward, hey, can I get that link? I'm going to be gone for my kid's primary program
Hmm.
because I planned this trip. And so, yeah, he gave it to me. But I noticed this last Sunday when I was walking around the church building, the ushers had their phones with the Zoom of the
Oh,
meeting
cool.
right in their hands. So they were still able to watch, but then walk around and do what they need to do.
That's great. Because I was thinking, even if you had like closed circuit, small wave radio, or like silent disco headphones or something like that, you
Yeah.
could have something within short distance to be able to catch it. But it's coming, everyone.
Yeah.
I know that there are area authorities in different places, and to be quite frank, I know that it's going to be a large pain. It's but different. I mean, we get people there on Sunday morning at 8 to shovel snow here in Utah. Like, we can definitely call a couple people to wander and make sure that everything is safe-ish.
Yeah, Russ, next time he's on, you can ask him about it because I think he showed up early one Sunday for like a youth council for
Hmm.
our daughter to participate in. And they said, you're here early. Why don't you be one of our ushers today? And we have like little official tags for them. They kind of look like the temple tags for temple workers,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
it says usher and they put it, you put it on your chest so we know who you are, why you're walking around there, and
Hmm.
that's what they do. So
It says Usher, and then right up below it, it says A-Town. And then it's just starts. I can't help it. Whenever I hear Usher, I always think of the song. And then I also think, in Texas, tell me if I'm wrong, you're issued the Usher badge, and then also like the old '80s detective gun. Not it's not a holster. It's not a holster though. That's very old age
like the
Texas.
vest
Yeah,
thing,
but it's the vest. You're issued a revolver as
a
part.
revolver.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep,
yeah. Six
yep.
shots, because if you can't kill it in six, you don't deserve to. I don't
In
know.
England, you get like a Sherlock's home
Yeah,
hat and like a
exactly, exactly.
magnifying glass.
Well, I see. May I see your ID? And
Yeah,
there's always two. And no matter what, the name tags are actually more like missionary tags, and it's
yeah.
Elder Holmes and Elder Watson, and you are
I love it.
wandering the stupid.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see if there's anything else worth. Uh, I haven't heard from anyone, and I would be curious. I asked this on our Facebook page, facebook.com/the cultural hall. There was increased security at the conference center. I
Of course.
wondered if people felt that. Certainly they saw it, because there were lots
Yeah.
of like people not trying to hide it. I'm sure that there were many more that
Yeah.
were trying to hide it as far as security goes. But was it blatantly obvious? Was it more comforting knowing the kind of turmoil of some of those things? Tell me how that was. I would be curious to know that. Contact at theculturalhall.com. Is that it? The other ones are pretty heavy to get into.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking
Or
looking at
what? Well,
those.
I'll do this actually real quick. Neurodivergent. There's a guy by the name of Nathan Lewis who studied the biological roots of autism at the University of California in San Diego, has three autistic children of his own, and had wondered before about how one's unique genetic makeup can affect his or her worship experience. So when his
Mm,
ward's Sunday school presidency began discussing types of teacher council meetings that would be helpful for parents, he felt inspired to take the lead on a council for parents and teachers of
mm,
neurodivergent children. He
nice.
explained how children with autism, ADHD, Tourette syndrome, or other conditions may find it hard to sit still, understand metaphors, or focus in overstimulating environments, to which I have never felt so heard in my entire life. I am so sorry to every single one of my teachers ever,
Yeah.
all of the things. There was times in college where I could like get focused because of different motivations, and I could really harness in like a superpower, like I'm going to do this now for hours on end. But I can remember poor, brother or sister, whomever that had to deal with me, and I just would be like, there's so many people here. I've got so many people. There's this thing, and I've got this thing. What's going on over here? And I'm sure they would have loved to be like, hey, so there's different kinds of people, and we're gonna help teach to this person, and help teach to this person, and I love that in the 21st century we are being aware of not only neurodivergent but like differently abled people, to be able to be like, everyone, you get the gospel, and you get the gospel, and you get the
Yep.
gospel. I think that's
Yeah,
pretty.
I've seen it on multiple levels. There's one of the young women with my daughter that is neurodivergent, and my daughter's 13, and she
Mhm.
was president of her young women's class. And the first time she taught, and this fellow classmate was just like, whoa, like hyper focusing on certain things and then sharing really loud and kind of interrupting and super excited about whatever she had to share. And like my daughter came out of that and said, like, I got to figure out how to do this better, mom. Like
Mhm.
her attitude was like, she's here. I want her to be here, but like I didn't expect that reaction. And so we really, and there's a lot of resources on the church website, but we delved into that a little bit better to see what we could do. But yeah, I hope they always feel, gosh, you just want people to help you. And maybe it's me because I have 5 kids, but I love it when somebody takes the time to help me teach my kids,
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
help them understand a gospel principle, or they make like a little flip chart of pictures for my kids to look at in the sacrament. Like
Yeah.
that really, I love that for my children. Or this last Sunday, my 7-year-old's teacher gave them conference packets and said, like, not only am I giving this to do during conference, but if you bring it back completed
Mhm.
during conference, we're going to have a special like discussion on Sunday in our primary
Cool.
class. And
Yeah.
so he was like, this, but it's for conference, mom. I can't do it until conference. And then sure enough, he whipped it out and he was like working on it and zoned in so I could zone in,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
I love that. So
It's
yeah.
one of the things about the lay church or the calling of people to different callings that I absolutely love, because if you can imagine, and this is a stretch for us, if we always had the same minister week in or week out and we didn't connect with that minister, the preacher, the whatever we want to call it, the ecclesiastical leader is the way we Mormonize it so that we feel like we can fit into the world, but everyone knows the only people that say ecclesiastical leader is Mormon people, so we do
Yeah.
ourselves the largest disservice, whatever, doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yep.
But I love where I go, oh, hey, I'm in this Sunday school class, and this teacher, she's good, but
Hmm.
she does not connect to me. I do not connect this way, but I'm grateful that the next time I come to Sunday school, it will likely be another person, and I may connect to that person really well, and maybe someone else doesn't connect to that person, or leadership, or my ministering families, or the people who minister to me. All of that it can be in flux. I don't have to be like, well, this is how it is. I either
Yep.
have to uproot or I like that
Go
flexibility.
find somewhere else. Yeah. And I
Yep.
love that when they're always searching for a way. So our Sunday school at ours, we have a lot of older people. And
Hmm.
so they have like a picks up your voice and does closed caption on the screen during
That's
Sunday
awesome.
school. Yeah. And I just love that they're really thinking of how can we include these older people who are coming but can't necessarily hear. And it's not perfect. Sometimes it says funny things that they're right, or
Sure.
it
You're like, I did
something.
not say that, but that, yeah,
Yeah, but I just love that there's this thought of how do I include everybody in this class so they're not just sitting here waiting for the time to end.
that closed captioning thing is brilliant. How
It's so good.
do you know what they use? Does Russ know? Will one of you guys send me an email, contact@theculturalhall.com? I'd love to try and set that up.
Yeah, I'll have Russ figure it out. So the other thing that I love is our Sunday school teacher is President Packer's grandson.
Oh, yeah?
So sometimes he starts telling a story about his grandpa, and then you realize like that's Boyd K. Packer he's
Yeah.
talking about. Like I would get like, hold on.
Yeah.
The
Wait.
first time it happened, I was like, well, wait, your grandfather. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, his name is Packer.
Yeah.
Grandfather's. Oh,
Yeah.
connection.
Made the connection.
So, yeah.
That's cool. The next time I teach, I can't, I think it's called Cahoots. Have you ever played that game before?
Yes, and I've played it in Relief Society
Yeah.
too, because ours has done it too.
Yeah, we're going to do
Yeah.
it in Elders Quorum the next time I teach, I've decided.
Yeah, our Relief Society does things too where like there was a QR code and they were like, read this scripture and then tell me what word stands out to you. And then it made one of those like word
Mm. Like word. Yeah,
amalgamation
yeah, yeah.
puzzle like graphics, and like you could see the words that were really big were the ones that more people had typed in,
Yeah.
and it made like this little cute little word art that we then helped us lead our discussion. But I was like, man, what's with this word being so like technologically
That's awesome.
advanced? So I don't know.
I was hoping that you were going to say, and then we all cross-stitched the word graphic that we got from that'd be hilarious.
Next time.
And,
Next time.
and everyone gets a cross-stitch pattern.
We did. So one of our Relief Society activities, we made friendship bracelets, but we made messages with Morse code in these friendship bracelets.
Cool.
Like your name or something. I know. I was like, wow, this is like advanced crafting. Like
Yeah.
also in case, I'm in a troubled spot, I just look at my bracelet and I can kind of spell out help or something because I know a couple of the, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is art with a purpose.
Yeah. I want to get a doctor to come in and we're going to stick a microchip in the back of everyone's hand in Elders Quorum. That's what I would like to do so we can all be identified and then tracked and followed. I mean, when we got the COVID-19 vaccination, that's what they did. So I just want to re-up our microchips in our hand as part of an Elders Quorum activity. I've taken the opportunity to derail this by going into
I was going to say,
theories.
I don't know where we're at now.
Conspiracy theories have become a recent pastime for me because, listen, it's not any crazier than the real world. And at least I can, at the end of going down the rabbit hole, go, but it's probably not true. Whereas when I watch the news, I go, that's mostly true.
Yeah, sometimes, yep. It was weird. So we've digressed, but I'll just say in our little town, we have a statue of Bumblebee from Transformers.
Okay.
And I said to my kids, like, oh, look, there's Bumblebee. And they said, what are you talking about? Who's Bumblebee? And I'm like, Transformers, guys. And they were like, no, not
More
our
than
thing.
meets
So I
the
made
eye,
them,
kids. More than meets the eye.
yes, they had no idea. Autobots roll out and they
Yeah.
were like, haven't heard of it. So for family movie night, we watched Transformers.
Oh.
And the military, everybody in that is so serious, right? Like save the president. Here's our thing. And I was like, man, and it was just the press conferences were just the most serious, for the good of humanity. We are having to face this invasion of aliens taking over our technology. And I was just like, oh, this is what I thought the news would be like as an adult. And this is a work of fiction. And my real news feels like, are we serious right now? Is this
Yeah.
Is this the serious press conference I thought the president or the whoever official would be having?
Sure.
So,
And then did you relate it all back to Optimus Prime being either a god figure or a prophet figure? Because if not, missed opportunity.
I did though. I did. I did let them know that a lot of us feel like he's like a heavenly father.
Yep.
And his voice sounds like I couldn't resist.
Good.
It's hard
Good
to
for you.
resist.
That's good parenting. That's all.
But did you know that
Transformers Temple? What?
Did you know that Optimus Prime, his voice is Spock? I did not know that.
Interesting.
Yeah,
No,
like he was Michael Bay, who did the movie. His uncle was Spock. I can't think of his name right now. Leonard Nimoy.
okay.
And he asked him to be the voice of Optimus Prime for the Transformers movie. So, ungospel related testimony builder there. But I just thought, I was like, that is awesome. I love Spock. And now Optimus Prime is even cooler. Are you fact checking me right now?
I am. Is that terrible that I just did
No,
that?
it's fine. I got it from Wikipedia. So if it's wrong, I blame the Wikipedia.
So it could be in the movies,
Yeah,
but
it's in the
like
movie.
in the series, it was a guy by the name of Peter Cullen. So
I'm talking about the Michael Bay movie. And my kids were like, that was fun. That was intense. But mom, it was just colors and flashes at the end. There was so much action. I'm like, welcome to a Michael Bay movie. That's what he does. It's
I want
boom,
the
boom,
meat.
boom,
I need
flash,
the
flash,
character
flash.
development, Mom. Who is that woman with the weird, toes for thumbs?
Yeah.
What's her name? I can't remember. The one that the she was like the beautiful ingenue in the Transformers movie. Megan Fox.
Megan Fox, yeah.
Look up Megan Fox. We are completely done. We need to end right now.
So
This
done.
is where this conversation has gone. Megan Fox has thumbs that look like big toes.
Okay.
Yeah, just
I'll
an
have to check
interesting
it out.
Megan Fox fact. Look, I got it on Wikipedia, so it has to be true.
Well, I have a friend that has that because one day I was like, we should go get a manicure pedicure. And she's like, look at these hands. And I was like, what's wrong with your thumbs? She's like, born this way.
Yeah.
That's just how they are. I'm like, you can't make that look cuter. Like
No.
that's just the way things are.
Yeah,
So,
no shame. And also she said, I can get a manicure and a pedicure with just 10 digis because they look the same.
oh. And that is where we're going to end this.
There it is.
Spiritually uplifting thing.
So
So
that to Sunday worship with you. We hope that this episode has nourished and strengthened your body.
and if you were not well enough to join us this week, you will be well enough to join us next week.
And that when the time comes, you'll be able to travel home in safety. In the meantime, go Tar Heels. Chris at Alpine Lakes Travel, Debbie Wanless, Chocolate Cake Bites Podcast, and the Tiger with a U will be saving a seat for you
On the back row.
of the Cultural Hall.
Cultural Hall.
Save me a seat, it's sure to be neat on the back row. We really gotta go on the Cultural Hall show.